All right, guys, I'm back. I would start this second stream, with the same introduction as usual, but it just feels weird because I just got off of that game. And I would just be assuming that the people that were watching would be on here, but I don't know. And then some people might not have been watching and been like, well, why aren't you starting your stream with your intro? It's because I just played a game and it just feels a little weird this time. For those of you just watching Man versus Men, I apologize. But we'll go ahead and I mean I'm in a bit of a time crunch, but not as much because that game disconnected. So I can probably do a full quality man versus man here without having to lower our standards for this one. And last week it took almost 2 hours to do all those simulations and stuff. But I think I have 2 hours now, so we should be good. How much battery does this controller have? It has 1 bar, so I might have to change controllers midstream as well. And for those of you just joining, I'm also expecting an important phone call. So if I have to pause or do anything like that, if I'm not on the mic, that means I'm taking that phone call. Um, Getting a job is a little bit more important than men, as I said, or man versus men. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it and see what happens. I'm hoping for the best because I need a job, I need money, go on dates with my girlfriend, and of course continue playing men in the future. So, um, just a second here. Okay, so I've responded to her, and here we are. Okay, so let's get this man versus man stream officially started. So, from last week, just from the man versus man stream, I think the reason it took so long is part because I took so long going over the previous week's event. And week one was a very eventful week. Week two was a little less eventful, but I'm going to try and keep it a little shorter this time to recap, anyways. So, first, let's update the standings. So, last week, the most notable improvement was Madden. Madden actually had more than double the wins. From week one, they had 4. Week two, they had 9. That's pretty impressive. So good job, Madden. Last week, they picked some games that we, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen, nor myself picked. So kudos to them, or kudos to the game for getting it done with 9 wins. You guys also got 9 wins, League of Ordinary Gentlemen. Good job, well done. I got 10. Not to shut anyone up, but there was only one game we disagreed on, and it went my way, unfortunately for y'all. Which game was it? Let's see, which game was that? It was the Commanders and Broncos game. I picked the Commanders, y'all picked the Broncos. So did Men. And the Commanders pulled off a 2-point victory. They came back from down 21-3. My girlfriend's uncle is a Broncos fan. He was pretty ticked off by blowing that lead. He keeps saying we need a new defensive coordinator. Maybe you should be the defensive coordinator, Justin. I'm like, no. I always say when I play Madden, I'm an offensive minded guy. I mean, of course, the way my recent games have been going, that doesn't you would if you didn't know me, that wouldn't be the case. So because right now my defense is doing a lot better. But um, anyways, enough on that tangent. Not too many huge surprises last week. The Bears just look bad, just as bad as last year. Just for starters. Losing to Tampa Bay, I'm still not on the Tampa Bay train. With all due respect to Baker Mayfield, and the defense is still seem pretty good compared to last year. But like this is kind of giving me vibes of the 2016 Broncos after Peyton Manning retired. They started off great, but like eventually it's going to come crashing down. That's what I feel like is going to happen with Tampa. They're not. They're kind of just there pretending to be good right now, and so far I think they've only played bad teams. They've gotten a little lucky so far these first 2 games. Packers offense, I didn't watch the Packers game that much with the Falcons, but they did. Based on what I saw on the scoreboard, it didn't seem like they did too bad. So maybe Jordan Love is being consistent, but I guess it was also just 2 bad defenses, so I'm not really quite hopping on that train, but the Falcons did pull off the victory, of course, in a close game. So that was a little concerning if you're a Packers fan. That was one man pick that neither myself nor the League of Ordinary Gentlemen picked. So that was a good pick by men. Um, and then Seattle pulled off a victory after starting off slow, but like I said, this is why we don't jump on the Lions bandwagon after week one after a 1 point victory against the shorthanded Chiefs team. Nor do we say the Chiefs are doomed because the Lions lost this week and the Chiefs won. In games where I thought they would both be close games, and they both kind of were, but like the Seahawks kind of had control of that game in the second half. The Chiefs, I mean, they never really had total control, but like it was never in question really. So, so like I said, don't just jump off the rails and overreact week one. The Chargers, their defense is going to keep them, they're going to hold them back this year. I was a little excited for the Chargers this year, but that kind of has gone out the window. I mean, losing to the Titans is not really a great thing. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that. My Browns are about to play the Titans. I mean, they kind of just took a bad loss to the Steelers, and that loss was pretty bad. Um, it was pretty bad for me as a Browns fan. Losing to a division rival like that. I mean, not only did we lose, we lost Nick Chubb for the season. Everybody knows what happened to him. Viewer discretion advised if you're going to watch the replay. And we lost because our offense gave up 14 points on turnovers. And everybody says Deshaun Watson threw a pick six and gave up a scoop and score. The pick six really wasn't his fault. It came off of Harrison Bryant's hands and was tipped right to a Steelers defender who said thank you very much and returned it for a score on the first play of the game. And that's when I kind of was like, oh no, here we go again. Harrison Bryant just needed to catch that ball. And if he catches that ball, Steelers have 7 less points. That's the way I see it. Now, the strip sack, scoop, and score in the fourth quarter was all him. He didn't see the blitz coming. You could say they didn't pick it up, but at the end of the day, it is his job to make sure it gets picked up. And if it doesn't, to just get rid of the ball or get out of the pocket or do whatever he has to do. Because he's Deshaun Watson. He should be able to run around. But he's not shown that. So a little concerned as a Browns fan right now. Our defense still looked good. But if this keeps up, there will be a war in the locker room between the offense and the defense. So kind of just moving across the board. The Bills bounced back. So no concerns there from Buffalo. They absolutely needed to win that game, and they did resoundingly. The 49ers are still world-class. The Giants had to mount a comeback against the Cardinals, and I said had to rather than like did, as in like they really pulled off the stunning comeback because it's the Cardinals. And they really haven't shown any signs of improvement, and they might be one of the down there with the Cardinals at the end of the year for one of the worst teams in the NFL at this point. Good for them that they pulled off the victory, but the fact that they fell behind 20-0 and it took them 7 quarters to score any points is kind of concerning if you're a Giants fan. The Cowboys look like they might be classy, but they've only played the two New York teams who don't look to be that great this year, especially with Aaron Rodgers being out. The Dolphins, they had control of that game, and they almost let it get away. But, I mean, like I said, the Dolphins are just a well-oiled machine. And then the New Orleans Saints are probably the best team in the NFC South. That division's not that good this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our Week 2 matchups and make our picks. So I'm doing this on my phone today, so it will take me a little bit more time to go between the Excel spreadsheet and, of course, the the LOG picks for the week. It doesn't look like as many people participated this week, but we'll go with what you guys have because, like I said, all these picks luck when I go live. Or not when I go live, but like when I pick the game that is in question. So first, let's go ahead and get started with our Thursday night game, which is tonight. The New York Giants take on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not going to be overly analytical here because we all know who the best team in the league is right now. That is this team right here, this red and gold team, the San Francisco 49ers. And also, like I just said, the New York Giants might just be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year after 2 weeks. The record says they're 1-1 and they're not too bad, but that one win was not a very great win. I mean, a win is a win. You can say that all you want, but that wasn't a very good win. And it doesn't look convincing, like, for the rest of the season. I know it's not college football, like, where these things, you have the eye test, where, like, only thing that matters is record. and some statistics that might break a tiebreaker or break a tie. But if I'm going with what happened the first 2 weeks to predict the rest of the season, the Giants don't look too good. And the 49ers are a well-oiled machine, and they're going to go 3-0 in this game. And the League of Ordinary Gentlemen, 8-0, pick the 49ers. So, um, yeah, this is a pretty easy pick for me. Um, so we're going to go ahead and put in the 49ers for both myself and the league. Now let's see what happens here in the simulation. It's a night game, so let's go ahead and make it a night game. So we'll do what we usually do. Back out like that. You guys can still hear me. You just can't see what's going on when I go to my home screen like that. So let's see what happens. It is snowing in San Francisco apparently, and that's not going to happen in real life. So I was hoping it would be smart enough not to do that. But yeah, the 49ers are... Oh, no, it is a tied game. Now the 49ers do have control of this game. It appears. Yeah, they have control here. So the 49ers have the win here, according to Madden. A clean sweep of picks for our first game. Although Madden's randomized weather for the game is not accurate at all, I don't think it's ever snowed in San Francisco, unless I picked snow on accident. Maybe I did. Maybe that was my fault. I'd have to go back and see that, or if somebody saw it, let me know. Because that was a bit pitiful. Like, why is it snowing in San Francisco? Anyways, Titans and Browns. Of course, my team against the Titans, a team that I say we cannot afford to lose to. The Titans still have somewhat of a potent offense with Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins, and the Browns' offense is stuttering a little bit. But you know me, I got to pick my team here because first of all, this is a bounce-back game. This is a must-win game for my team. It's a must-win game. It's at home. The fans are going to be crazy. And if we don't win this game, expect a long season for the Browns. I mean, after that Week 1 win, I wasn't hoping to be in this situation, but here we are. We have to win this game because our next 2 games are against much better opponents. The Ravens, then we have our bye, Week 5, an early bye. And then after the bye, we have the 49ers. And as I keep saying, the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. So the Browns probably know they have to win this game. Kevin Stefanski knows his job is on the line this year. And that means this game is massive for him. And the Tennessee Titans, we should be able to beat their defense that is pretty weak for the most part. So, I mean, no Nick Chubb, but we got Kareem Hunt now. We re-signed him. Running backs are, I feel like they're a dime a dozen nowadays. I mean, there's no replacing Nick Chubb. But we got Kareem Hunt back, and he was pretty good the entire time he was on our team. So I'm going to pick the Browns and be optimistic, even after that last game. But the league surprisingly disagrees with me here. I guess there might be some hype for the Titans, but this one was split 5-3 in favor of the Titans for the league. So we're going to disagree on this one. And the last time y'all disagreed with me on the Browns won. So maybe that's a good thing. For me, anyways. I'm going to keep it at 6-minute simulations today rather than 8, because those 8-minute simulations do take a little longer. If there's snow in any of these randomized forecasts, it is BS, because even in the states where it tends to snow a lot during the winter months, it's not going to snow in September or even October. So let's see what Madden has to say. Lousy offense after some great defense, of course. Lots of field goals from this Browns team. 4 field goals. The Titans are up. There's a touchdown, finally. But let's keep moving forward here. The Browns have it. Oh, yeah, they're just going to run out the clock here, so So it was a close game, but the Browns pull off a victory here, according to Madden, 22-20. Madden agrees with me, and not the league. Um, I mean, it was closer than I thought it would be because Madden did have it as a huge overall gap. I mean, a massive overall gap. So I kept it close though, but I mean, overall gap doesn't seem to matter. Okay, then we got the Chargers and the Vikings. Um, a game of two teams that have quite frankly disappointed so far to start the year. I think the Chargers more so than the Vikings being disappointment because the Vikings, I kind of predicted the Viking ship would sink a little this year, if not completely. And it looks like it's sinking completely, so it's not as surprising to me. I know some people still thought with Justin Jefferson, the Vikings would still be good. The Chargers, I cannot. Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, this is supposed to be a star studded team, but their defense hasn't really held up to that. And they don't have those guys on defense to get it done. I wonder if it's the defensive coordinator. I don't watch the Chargers too much. Maybe like their play calling is just not that great. It's just a little all over the place. It might just be a coaching thing. But both teams look at this as a must-win game. So it's really going to be a who is the better team. And I still have some faith that the Chargers might just be the better team here. And they might just pull it out. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. I mean, this isn't exactly an easy game with Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, but I will favor the Chargers here because I think they just have a more well-rounded team rather than being centered around one guy, whereas the Vikings are centered around Justin Jefferson. So there's that. So I'm going with the Chargers. The league disagrees with me though, in the same fashion it did, 5-3 in favor of the Vikings. So let's go ahead and enter those picks in. I'm picking the Chargers. You guys are picking the Vikings. But let's see what Madden has to say. I have a feeling Madden's going to disagree with me on this one. So, like I said, we're sticking to 6-minute quarters, as I said before. We were doing 8 before, but we're changing it up for the rest of Man versus Man. So let's go ahead and forward it to the end of this game. Or we'll jump in if we have to. I was about to jump into that Browns game, but I saw once I was about to jump in, the Browns already had it wrapped up. There we go, 17-14. This is a good one. This is looking good. Oh, the Chargers just kind of took control of the game there. Let's see if the Vikings can get a score here. They don't seem to be doing it quickly enough, though, so we'll not jump in here. Madden is taking the Chargers. It agrees with me. No, us and Madden are matched 3 for 3 so far. So let's go ahead, quickly jump into our next one, which is between the Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders, and this could be an interesting one. More interesting than most people think. I mean, the Bills look like the well-oiled machine that many people predicted them to be in Week 2, which is a welcome sign for Buffalo fans after that embarrassment that was Week 1. And their defense was good in Week 1. It was just Josh Allen was not on point, which was a little concerning, but I think most people are seeing it as just a blip and that Buffalo is back to where they truly are supposed to be. The Commanders, on the other hand, haven't played great teams. They are 2-0, but they barely escaped against both of them. And they had to come from behind in both games against teams that I thought they would be favoring. I mean, y'all did pick the Broncos last week. Y'all didn't really have much faith in the Commanders. And it looks like here, again, you guys don't have faith in the Commanders. You guys are picking the Bills. I mean, that's not going to influence my pick at all. I think the Bills are the better team. I don't see a reason for them to lose this game. I mean, could it happen? Yeah, we saw what happened Week 1. A lot of you guys did pick the Jets. It was 50-50 split down the middle between the Bills and Jets in that game, except one more person voted for the Bills, I guess. So LOG did pick the Bills in that game, but that was before Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Once you guys know Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I'm sure a lot of those predictions swung in Buffalo's favor, if it was allowed to happen. but the Jets won the game. So I'm saying it could happen. The Commanders could win this game. It is possible, especially since they're the home team, and Bills Mafia isn't going to be heavily present in Washington D.C. Or maybe they will be. I don't know. They're kind of all over the place, but I don't see the Commanders fan base being one to let that happen, especially after they started the year 2-0. I think there might be some excitement there. But the Bills are the better team. I think they'll win. You guys think they'll win. So we're in agreement here. Let's see if Madden agrees with us. But first, let me enter our picks. By the way, I'm out of town this weekend. I'm all over the place. I'm going back to my parents after we get back from Paducah, Kentucky. So that's gonna be interesting how that goes for me personally, honestly. So I just have a lot going on right now. So I apologize if I'm a little behind on my streams. I mean, like I said before, man versus man will typically be on Wednesdays. And I didn't really get to it yesterday because I didn't have a whole lot of time to do so. So let's go ahead and fast forward to the end of this game. Or jump in if we have to. And the Commanders have a 14-7 lead. Like I said, I wouldn't be too shocked if this happened in real life. Because the Commanders are a capable team of pulling off an upset like this. So let's see. Okay, we're going to jump in here. The Bills have the ball. Under 2 minutes to go. The clock is running. They're at their own 46 in our first game that we are jumping into in this stream. We finally have a really good game here. Well, there were a couple kind of good ones. Like that Browns game was good. I was about to jump in, and then the Browns kind of ran out the clock there. And I wasn't really about to just watch Deshaun Watson kneel it. But anyways, Josh Allen's pass is inaccurate, and that looks like a sign of what happened in Week 1. As now we're faced with a 3rd and 4. Third and 4, Allen drops back, screen, and what a block there for a first down. That was a well-executed screen. The offensive lineman got there. One of them threw a nice pancake. Or it wasn't really a pancake. He just kind of shoved them to the ground. But the Bills do have to pick up the pace here. They do have all 3 timeouts. I'm surprised they're not using one here. They're going to just go hurry up. Men has been shown to be really stupid with these simulations and time management. Allen completes it for a gain of 7. They have to hurry. This huddling animation is just a bunch of BS. We know they're actually not huddling. But this is a lot of time coming off the clock. There's no way that this much time comes off the clock after a short completion like that. Second down, pass caught, first down, and now here we go. And they do call the timeout immediately, as they should. As they're now down to 36 seconds. They're 30 yards away from pay dirt and tying this game. So a first down here for the Buffalo Bills. Fake the handoff to James Cook, and Allen is hit, but he's able to throw it away. So that does stop the clock. That's the best thing for Buffalo. The one thing they can't afford to do, obviously besides turn it over, is get sacked. And fortunately for them, they did get. Josh Allen did not take a sack on that play. It is 2nd and 10. 31 seconds to go. Here we go. Josh Allen steps, throws. Oh, that's pretty much like taking a sack, except you get positive yards. And they're wasting a lot of time. They needed to call their second time out there, and I'm not sure what they're doing. The clock is down to 12, 11. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I told you, Madden is very dumb when it comes to clock management. 11 seconds to go. As they let, like, 10 seconds run off the clock after that play ended. a play that was pretty much worthless. I mean, if you get out of bounds and get that kind of gain, that's different, but now you're forced to waste all that time. Now on third down, less than 10 seconds left, incomplete. They have to go to the end zone here. I mean, they could get 8 yards very quickly, get the first down, use that last time out, I suppose, but with 6 seconds left, it's looking very bleak for the Bills here, as they have to go 28 yards for the win. Fourth down, Josh Allen does go to the end zone here. There's a penalty. It's incomplete. There is a penalty. Hold the phone. It's a defensive penalty, too. There's 1 second left. But now they're going to have first and goal at the 1. And the first down really doesn't matter. It's the fact that the ball's at the 1 yard line here with 1 second left. Whatever your best play call from 1 yard out, it's got to be here. It doesn't matter. It's caught for the touchdown. A little quick slant for the completion to Trent Sherfield. And then the Bills are an extra point away from tying it here and forcing overtime. As what a terrible penalty at a terrible time if you're a Commanders fan. So you don't commit the penalty and you get the incompletion. So the extra point is good. If you don't commit that penalty, the game is over. Even though there was 1 second left. Because that was fourth down. They would have just kneeled it. Now we're going to overtime. And I'm sure fans would have been blown up if that happened in real life. That's what should have happened at the end of the Browns game last week. I'm not saying the refs lost us the game because there was a whole multitude of things that went wrong for us. But that should have been pass interference at the end. That would have at least given us a chance to score and win the game. Because I'm not saying that's what would have happened. Our offense was pretty shaky that game. But that was pass interference at the end of the game. The kickoff taken halfway through the end zone and not returned. It's a touchback. The Commanders will start at the 25. So Sam Howell and company will come out. They need to drive the ball. I mean, if a touchdown wins the game here, I mean, technically Madden doesn't think so, as it's under the playoff interpretation right now, but this is a regular season game. If the Commanders score a touchdown, we will cut this. We'll cut the game there and say the Commanders won. The Commanders already have a big play here for a first down as they look to score a touchdown and win. And there's a play action. Howell steps up, looks across the field, and that is what you call not the best quarterback. Josh Allen on the other side most likely completes that, but we did see an inaccurate ball in that first play, which should have been an easy pitch and catch for the Commanders instead of 2nd and 10. And a give to the right side, and give the Commanders running back 3. As it's Gibson who gets it. They'll need 7 here as they're behind schedule. So 3rd and 7 here. Just on the plus side of midfield, Howell scrambles. Throws it away. There's a penalty. It's going to be holding. Oh, wow. I didn't see it. I did not see the roughing the passer. But it happened. And now the first down, and the Commanders get to keep the ball here, and now that's complete. It's caught for a first down. It is Terry McLaurin, the former Buckeye, getting that first down. And Scary Terry's got him a lot closer here, as they're now within 25 yards of winning this game. Howell looks, fires, complete, left side. He gets to the 15. It's a gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Once again, Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin makes the catch. Josh Allen can only watch and hope that his defense gets it together here in a hurry. Their defense, which has played pretty well in this simulation and pretty well through the first 2 weeks of the regular season. The second down, that pass complete. It's not a huge game, but it is enough for a first, as Gibson gets it out of the backfield and runs the out route to perfection. And if the Commanders don't get a touchdown, but they do get a field goal, then time is definitely a factor for Buffalo now. They can drive it down the field, but it's not going to matter as the Commanders get a touchdown, and that will do it. Jahan Dotson wins the game for the Commanders. Madden will try to continue the game, but we're not going to let that happen because it's a regular season game, and the Commanders win with a touchdown to start in overtime. So put this in the books as a Commanders win for Madden. And I mean, again, I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened. And I mean, I'm not expecting that game to be a blowout. I'm expecting the Commanders to be competitive, with their defense especially. But I expect the Bills to come out on top. It's just not in dramatic fashion. All right, so I got a bit of a dilemma here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick the Saints and Packers. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this game, but I see that League of Very Gentlemen does not agree at all with each other. So for your guys' pick, since it's even 4-4, right down the middle here, that's the thing that sucks about having an even number. You could have a tie. So but with the Saints and Packers game, what I will do, so I will find a coin somewhere and I will flip it. If it's heads, that means the visiting team is going to win. If that's tails, that means the home team will win. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pick this game first. And then I'll flip the coin to decide. Unless one of you guys watching this stream hasn't picked, please make the pick before I flip the coin. Because if I flip the coin, it's up to chance. So, I mean, that's just something I kind of came up with on a whim. I mean, something I should have seen coming, potentially, but not something that I was prepared for. So the Saints and the Packers, two pretty evenly matched teams, in my opinion. And League of Ordinary just so evenly matched that the League of Ordinary Gentlemen can't decide. Jeez. Excuse me. This is a home game for the Packers. If this was December at Lambeau Field, this is Packers all day. The Saints are a dome team that plays in the South. But it is September. It's still a little bit warmer, more temperate up there. But for the sake of my girlfriend's dad, who is a Packers fan, not just a Packers fan, but also a Packers shareholder, I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers to win this game. And I just think the home field advantage would be just enough, even without the frozen tundra, which never truly freezes because it's a grass field and they have the heating coils on the field. But even without the cold December weather or January weather, I think the Packers are favored to win this game. And also, it could be raining up there for all I know. I don't know what the forecast is up in Wisconsin. But it's a Packers home game. The Packers should pull it off. Now, for your guys' pick, like I said, I'm going to flip a coin. If it's heads, you guys pick the Saints. If it's tails, you guys pick the Packers. I got to find a coin somewhere, though. Ah, there's a penny right here. So we're going to flip a penny. Usually I flip a quarter, but... Hold on, I know where to find a quarter. There's a quarter in the laundry room. I know, talking about stuff in the house here, but just to make you guys pick, because y'all are indecisive on this one. So, I have to decide. Flips, me out on it. Sorry, y'all, for that little delay. I just had to go find a better coin than a penny. Pennies from heaven. I don't know. Uh, all right, let's flip the coin. It landed. You guys might have been able to hear that, and it is. I think that is the tails. So we're in agreement here, technically. So you guys are picking the Packers officially after that coin flip. Unless, hold on, let me go check. Let me see if nobody else picked this game already. Let's see if anyone else picked. Nope, it's still tied at 4-4. So, yeah, so we're in agreement here, technically speaking. I mean, you guys were, well, I guess you guys were indecisive. But since the coin made the pick for Yo, you guys are going with Green Bay just as I am. It was and too bad I couldn't video myself while on Madden or something like that, because I would have to show that coin flip. I mean, I would be videoing myself to do this in general, but since I'm on my PS5 and not on a computer, I'm not doing that. So I flipped the coin. You guys are just gonna have to trust me on that one. That it was a fair coin flip. But anyways, let's see what Ben has to say now, because Ben is a little less indecisive than you guys are. I know, I'm calling y'all out here. League. I mean, Man was pretty indecisive last game, though. I'll say that. It had to go in overtime, but Man seems to be very high in the Packers, because we did see what the Packers did to the Bills on that opening tournament that I had for who would win the Super Bowl. If y'all remember that quite a few weeks back. Hold on a minute. Nope, the Packers were able to... That was a much higher scoring game. So, we're technically in agreement here that the Packers will win. However, I don't think that will be the final score. I don't see that happening. I think there will be a lot of field goals. A bend but don't break. Both teams' defenses they're not great, but they're also not terrible. And Men just seems to think they're terrible in a 6-minute quarter simulation. So that's a little bit surprising, but nevertheless, the score does not matter. It just who picks. It just who did they pick the win, and in this case, they picked the Packers. We're all in agreement. And I'm sure for those of you who did actually pick the Packers, you guys probably thinking the same way I am right now. There's no way that's that high of a score there for a final. Anyways, Falcons at Lions is our next game. This is a bounce back game for the Lions, who kind of embarrassed themselves last week. I mean, the Seahawks are not a bad team, but the way that they lost that game was a little bit pitiful, especially in that second half. It was Seattle controlled that game. They rolled into Detroit. I mean, I guess there was a little bit more desperation on the part of Seattle. You could say that, but the Lions shouldn't have given it away that easily. But this is a bounce-back game, and I think they'll feel a little bit of desperation. This isn't necessarily a must-win for them. Well, I don't know what the rest of their schedule is after this game, but actually, if I remember correctly, they don't play that many good opponents. So, like I said, not necessarily a must-win, but it's one they'll like to have, and it's one that, I mean, they're going to come out firing. They're going to feel bad about that loss. They probably feel the effects of it still slightly. Like, I know there's a 24-hour effect, but like, come on, like, after you dwell on it for 24 hours, like you're going to be fired up about a loss like that. If it's not like a playoff game that you lost and got eliminated in. So that's kind of, well, I'm just taking it purely from the Lions standpoint there. The Falcons are a better team than I thought they were. It appears. They have looked good so far through their first two games. They've pulled off 2 clutch victories so far to start the year. I think they might be. I mean, I said the New Orleans Saints were the class of the NFC South, which is not going to be a great division, but the Atlanta Falcons might just be of some substance. Like, look at them so far. Like, they haven't been all that bad. But this is the Lions team that had high expectations this year, and like while I expect this to be a close game, like the Falcons will try to hang in there. I mean, they do have that underdog mentality, and they're gonna keep it in this game. But I think it won't. I don't think it'll be enough. I think the Lions pull it off. I think they pull off the victory. And let's see who the league went with. And yeah, we're in agreement here. The Lions are going to pull off the win, according to both of us. So, I mean, we've already disagreed more this week than we have last week. Every game last week. So, let's see what Ben has to say about this one. So go ahead. No weather because it's Ford Field indoors. If it was at Atlanta, it would also be indoors. So let's go ahead and sim forward. Seven nothing Lions. 7-3. Falcons have a lead. Like I said, this should be a close game. This should be a close game. Yeah, the Lions, see? The Falcons have the lead here, and they have the ball, and they have a bigger lead now. And they win 35-24 according to Ben. That is a little surprising to me. I think it would be a surprise if the Falcons won. I said it would be a close game, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but I just think the Lions there, I mean, here's the thing. The Falcons did pull off 2 clutch victories. Ever since they blew that 28-3 lead, that has not been associated with them. Like, being clutch. They are the ultimate jokers of the NFL. But, I mean, they look to reverse that course this year. But I don't see them beating the Lions. I just don't. The Lions are hungry. They are hungry. And when you have a hungry Lion and they see the Falcons... I know the Falcons and Lions are both predators in their own ways, but in this case, if the Lion is hungry and it sees a Falcon just kind of taking his sweet old time on the ground, that Lion is devouring that Falcon. I feel like. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong if you know the food tree better than I do. I know Lions don't typically eat Falcons, but like if in a battle between these two teams, I think the Lions win. Simple as that. Just because they're the better team, and I think they just have better depth than the Falcons do right now. Anyways, on to our next game, Texans and Jaguars. Do I need to say more about this? The Jaguars should pull this off easily. The Texans are still in a rebuild. C.J. Stroud has been pretty decent so far for the Texans. He could prove to fulfill his potential. I mean, it's his rookie year, and these rookie quarterbacks nowadays don't just come out of nowhere. Patrick Mahomes, I know his first year as a starter came out of nowhere, but like he technically wasn't a rookie. He was a sophomore. Joe Burrow did good in his first year, but he didn't lead his team to a winning record. So like rookie seasons for quarterbacks are never perfect, and C.J. Stroud is facing that right now, and he's about to face the class of the AFC South. And Jacksonville Jaguars are just... Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I hated him when he was in college. He's a much better quarterback than even I anticipated him to be. No wonder he was a number 1 overall pick. Jaguars, it's paying dividends for them, and it's working out. So, Jaguars, the sun is looking up for them in the Sunshine State. And they'll pull off the victory here, and you guys agree with me. So I felt like I actually overanalyzed that game a little bit. I probably could have just gotten away with saying the Jaguars are going to win without saying anything else, because that's just common sense, honestly, right now. I mean, that's just common sense right now. The Jaguars are a much better team, and they just took that loss to the Chiefs. They're probably looking for a bounce back here. A good team that just lost the week before is a dangerous team. And the Houston Texans are not a good team themselves. So there's just too much going against the Texans here for me to even fathom them pulling off an upset. And yeah, it looks like Madden is coming to its senses here in this game so far. But I mean, it's keeping it close though. So here we are on a 3rd and 9, just over 2 minutes left. The 2-minute warning is still in play here. As the Jaguars look to wrap it up with a 1st down. But here's the thing, does Trevor Lawrence throw this ball? There's 2:07 left, so it's a little interesting. If the play takes at least 7 seconds, it doesn't matter. And then he's going to take a sack. That's actually a little smart. Not that it mattered a whole lot. He could have thrown incomplete, and then if they would have had the punt, they would have hit the 2-minute warning on the punt. So it really doesn't give the Texans a free timeout. Instead, they hit the 2-minute warning now, so it'll just be a few more seconds off the clock. But the Texans get it back with under 2 minutes and no timeouts. And C.J. Stroud, according to men, C.J. Stroud's going to get a chance to prove himself here. And I, again, just can't fathom this upset happening, but Madden seems like it can. Even if the Texans don't pull it off, Madden has this being a one-score game here. I mean, barring a pick six or something like that, which that could happen too. We've seen it. One minute, 53 seconds left. C.J. Stroud, 63 yards for the win. Play action, which really shouldn't do anything. Off the hands of his receiver, incomplete. That should have been caught. It was a little high, but there was nobody near him. And that's not doing the rookie quarterback any favors. Like, for his confidence. You have to catch that pass. That would have been about a 20-yard gain. Second and 10. Delayed rush. Pass. This one is caught. And that's a first down across midfield. Now, C.J. Stroud played a lot of experience games in college football. I mean, the NFL is a little different, but the time management works very similarly, except the clock doesn't stop on first downs like it did in college. So he's going to have to hurry it up even more, and I'm pretty sure Stroud would know that. When you're a pro-bound quarterback like Stroud is, you know these things going from college to pro. Pass complete, modest gain, but the clock's going to continue to run here. It's funny, the former Buckeye throwing to the former Wolverine. That's who C.J. Stroud threw his first touchdown pass to, is Nico Collins. No huddle here. A lot of time being wasted getting lined up after only a 7-yard gain. And Stroud needs to find somebody here. And he does. He needs to get out of bounds. He doesn't, but he does get a pretty good gain. So that does set up the Texans here for what could be a game-winning touchdown. But they need to hurry up and get to the line here. It will say they're not huddling, but they are taking a lot of time. And of course, after a big game like that, it would take longer, but Stroud cannot take a sack. Absolutely cannot take a sack. He has all day. Now there's a penalty. It's holding on someone. Is it offense or defense? The clock stops here. Let's see what the penalty is. It's offensive holding. That big completion is going to come back. And that absolutely hurts. With 19 seconds left out, you either got to get in the end zone or you got to get out of bounds. Knowing men, a completion in the middle of the field that is not a touchdown is going to end the game, most likely. That pass is incomplete. Clock stops now at 14 seconds left. That holding penalty really hurt, but I mean, that play took so long to develop, and I'm surprised that the pass rush didn't get there. I mean, of course the Texans were caught holding, so now you got a 2nd and 10 with 14 seconds left, just shy of the 30. Here we go, 2nd and 10, Stroud. Nice little pancake. That is not a hold, but with 8 seconds left, that pass caught, and he does get out of bounds. So that makes it a little easier here on 3rd and 5. They do probably have to get into the end zone on this play. Unless it's a quick completion to the sideline. I mean, they do have 2 plays here if they could do that, but it doesn't look like they're going that route. This is for all the marbles. It's dropped at the back of the end zone. They do have 1 second left, so they have another opportunity. But wow. I want to see the replay of that. Hold on a minute. What happened there? There is no instant replay. Can't watch the replay. It's 4th and 5. Nobody near him, and he just dropped it. That is Madden logic at its finest. That would be the easiest touchdown drop, and probably the most embarrassing touchdown drop since Jackie Smith in like 50 years ago now in that Super Bowl. There's 1 second left, so there's a chance for the Texans to kind of forget about it. But I mean, if they don't get the touchdown here, they will be remembering that. If this was a real life situation, of course, it's not. It's not real life. The Texans don't have to worry about this in real life. But now here we are, 4th down. That pass, it's caught for the touchdown. And you can't forget about it now because Dalton Schultz has just saved him from an absolute embarrassment. He gets the touchdown, and now an extra point away from the win, according to Madden. And the upset that like I said, I cannot fathom happening. Some Madden Sim excitement here as the extra point is up. It's good, and the Texans have won it. Wow. And that would be their first victory of the year if that comes to fruition. I don't see that happening. I still think the Texans are not a good team. They're not horrible. I mean, well, they kind of are horrible, but I mean, wow. What a game, according to Madden. So we got to pick our next game now. So let's go ahead and jump forward to our next game, the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. If it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers being hurt, I would easily pick the Jets. But the Patriots look like they're they're 0-2. They're one of the better 0-2 teams, though. And the New York Jets are also no, they got the win week 1 against the Bills. That was a surprise. I feel like that's a one-off. I mean, the Patriots just appear to be the better team. I feel like the man doesn't think so. I believe Aaron Rodgers is now off the roster, according to Madden. I mean, League of Ordinary Gentlemen is kind of split, but I mean, it's not like the Saints-Packers game. The guys picked the Patriots, and I'm going to do the same because those first 2 games, I mean, they didn't favor the Patriots, but I mean, they played 2 of the better teams in the NFL. They played 2 of the better teams in the NFL. And they played them close, and they played them tough. This is a Jets team that I don't think will be as good after Aaron Rodgers tore his ACL. So I'm going to the Patriots. You guys know I put the Jets in for y'all for some reason. No, you guys are going with the Patriots, just like me. All right, let's see what Madden has to say. It is 1 o'clock, random. Yeah, still got a couple of those 1 o'clock games left, I believe. So we'll go ahead and sim forward just as we have been. I'm being very repetitive, I know, so I apologize if I sound like I'm being repetitive. The Patriots have a 7-0 lead, and that seems appropriate. Their defense keeping them in games here. The Jets can't do anything. They can't do anything, according to Madden. Until now, they finally get some points, but it's not going to matter. Easy win for the Patriots, according to Madden. Some people in the League of Ordinary Gentlemen, I mean, the league as a whole picked the Patriots, but some people think the Jets might actually win this game. So, but overall, we're all in agreement here. So our next game is the Broncos at the Dolphins. 2 teams that are going in opposite directions. The Dolphins played 2 road games. The Broncos played 2 home games so far, but in this game, the Broncos are the visiting team and the Dolphins are the home team. And should I beat around the bush or should I just say the elephant in the room here? The Dolphins are a much better team, and they have much more going for them right now, and they look really, really, really solid. I mean, they did have that close game against the Patriots where that crazy lateral play almost got the Patriots the first down, which would have given them a chance to tie the game. But I tend to think more highly of the Patriots than down on the Dolphins after that game. And they did have to come back from behind and come from behind in their week 1 game against the Chargers, who have been disappointing so far. But my forecast on Miami right now, lots of sunshine. It is in the Sunshine State after all. They're probably the best team in Florida. Jacksonville might put up a fight there, but I think Miami's still the better team. They're probably one of the best teams in the NFL, quite frankly. They're up there with, I mean, the Bengals might not be up there anymore after week 2, but they're up there with the likes of Kansas City and other teams like that. So I'm picking the Dolphins to win this game. The Broncos, Russell Wilson, I don't know if he has anything left in the tank. Let's see what the league thinks. The league is overwhelmingly favoring the Dolphins here. One person picked the Broncos. So, yeah, we're in agreement. We're picking Miami. Both of us are. Both the league and myself are. So let's see what happens according to Madden. Go ahead and sim forward. Yeah, Miami is cruising here early on. I feel like Madden has been paying attention to how I talk about him, how I talk about its simulations. It's taking it a little more seriously now, but here we are. Broncos were close there, though, at the end. I thought that was the third quarter for some reason. I guess not. But the Dolphins do pull off the win. What would be their first home game of the year? I'm not expecting a close game. Men had Miami control in that game for the most part, but they had Denver cutting it close at the end, so a little bit surprising there. So, last of the 1 o'clock window here, Colts at Ravens. The Ravens are they're looking really good right now. The Ravens are. They are confident. They just beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. That could be a concern for the Bengals, but even more importantly for the Ravens, it is a huge boost to their team. The Colts, they beat the Texans, but what does that get them? Just one win. One win towards not having that number 1 overall pick. And that's the way I see it for the Indianapolis Colts right now. The Ravens take this game, though. Jonathan Taylor can do what he wants. DeForest Buckner can keep them close. But Lamar Jackson just looked way too good against that Bengals defense for me to pick against them right now. So I'm picking the Ravens. The league, I believe, is picking the Ravens too. Let me look. Yeah. We're in agreement here. We've been mostly in agreement so far. So, I mean, us humans tend to agree a lot more than humans and the AI, the Madden AI, that is. So, Madden has the Houston Texans beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, just take a minute to think about that. Colts have the lead here early. I mean, that could happen, but now the Ravens have control of this game. See, that's realistic. The underdog could come out firing, but at the end of the day, the Ravens are a much better team, and Madden has come to see that here. In fact, that is Madden's blowout of the week, 34-9. That is their biggest blowout so far since the beginning of the stream. So now we jump into the later windows. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Now we jump into the later window. We'll keep it at the 1 o'clock time for our simulations because it will be 1 o'clock local where they play. It is 4 o'clock my time here on the East Coast for the LA Rams. Or excuse me, no. I just saw AR on my Excel and I thought that was the LA Rams. No, it is the Carolina Panthers at the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams already traveled to Seattle this year, so why would that make sense that they would go back to Seattle? Um, so I these are two teams that I haven't really paid too much attention to so far. I mean, I saw a little bit of that Monday night game before I switched over to the Browns because they played at the same time on Monday night. The Panthers and the Seahawks, or excuse me, the Panthers and the Saints did. Bryce Young, just they struggling a little bit to get into that end zone. So, and the Seahawks looked much better. They looked like their old selves last week. So maybe their week one loss is more of a testament. And the Rams held up with the 49ers. And I mean, they played them tough. So maybe that was a testament to just like how good the Rams could be this year. A surprise. It could be their one surprising team this year, the Rams, and they beat the Seahawks. Maybe that's just the case of like the Seahawks running into that situation. Like I mean, I know they had the worst Super Bowl hangover ever, but they still have some pieces left from that Super Bowl win. So I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. But like we all thought like Stafford's getting old, he's regressing, and you see me play with him in our league, and he absolutely sucks. But in real life, he hasn't been so bad. I mean, they did just trade away Cam Akers. I'm not sure. I mean, running backs, as I said at the beginning of the stream, like a good, not the great running backs, but the good running backs seem to be a dime a dozen nowadays. So it shouldn't be too hard to replace him. He's not the best running back. He's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not Nick Chubb. He's not any of those guys. But I mean, they should be replaceable. And here I am talking about the Rams, where I haven't even picked this game between the Panthers and Seahawks. Um, but I think I have to pick the Seahawks here. They do look like themselves after last week. That was a very reassuring win for them. A win which will keep them alive in the NFC, most likely the NFC wildcard race. I'm not saying the NFC West. I mean, unless proven otherwise, only because the 49ers are just that darn good right now. I don't know anyone's beating that team right now. I mean, they might slow down at some point in the year, like it almost always happens, where a team like that slows down at some point, just a little bit, just enough, and they run into the wrong opponent and they lose. But like kind of like what the Eagles did last year, where they were starting off strong and then they slowed down a little bit, and then they ran into the Commanders on the wrong week. Like that could happen. So I do think the 49ers. I don't think they'll be 17-0, but like they're pretty hard to beat right now, and I don't see anyone challenging them for that division title, despite how tough these other teams can be. I know I just was a little bit more elaborate there, but Seattle wins this game, and I think they do it rather easily. And here comes that important phone call I was talking about, so let me answer it before we continue. My apologies, guys. That was a bit longer of a break than I thought it would be. Took me about 15 minutes there, but for those of you guys that care, I got the second interview for that place, so that's great. I got a second interview. That can mean something. That can mean something. Maybe that means I don't have to go back to my parents in Roanoke if it turns out to be something suitable for me. But anyways, I getting back to what I was doing here. I'm a little bit time constrained now after that phone call. So getting back to what I was doing, I picked the Seahawks. Let's see what you guys picked, because I almost forgot to put in your guys' pick for this game. Yeah, overwhelmingly Seattle. In fact, unanimous amongst the people that picked. I'm feeling a little more energized now because I got that second interview. I'm excited. So it's just a little spin off there. I mean, that was a good phone call to take. I mean, let's go ahead and super send through the end of this one. See what happens here. Again, I apologize for the delay there. I did mention I would be getting that phone call sometime this afternoon, and it just happened there. I mean, not really surprising. So it's 14-all. And here we are in a close game. We're going to hop on here. The Panthers have the ball. Bryce Young needs a field goal to tie. Touchdown to win. And here he is throwing, and incomplete to the right side. 1:45 to play. Let's see, how many games do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 games to go after this one. We should be able to get them all in before 4 o'clock. So 2nd and 10. Young steps up. Almost got sacked, but he's able to evade it, and he throws incomplete. That was a tough throw to make, but a good job by him avoiding the sack at least. So now it's 3rd and 10. Young looks, runs backwards, then fires. Oh my goodness, what a throw! I think that was over dramatic, but it was complete. And I guess it doesn't matter how you complete it as long as you complete it. Look at this 360 no scope from Bryce Young. They do no huddle here, but oh, it's intercepted. Oh no! After that incredible throw, he turns around. It is now a 0. He went from 0 to 0. Oh, I'm not sure how that's picked off. That looked like a good throw. And Hayden Hurst didn't even get his hands on the ball somehow. I think that's Madden just cheesing them. Again, I think the Seahawks will win the game, but I don't think it'll happen like that. I don't think it'll happen because Hayden Hurst doesn't get his hands on that pass. That should have been, I mean, at worst incomplete because there was good coverage, but like he should have probably caught that. And that hurts because they were in field goal range too, right there. And now they're going to have to pray because they have 2 timeouts. Lavu makes the tackle, and there's one of the timeouts. So on 2nd and 9, we'll likely see the Panthers use their final timeout here. Smith under center, gives it, and a broken tackle, and they're just able to stop Walker short. He's slow to get up here. It's 3rd and 1. The Panthers just used their final timeout. Now, if there was an injury, I thought the Seahawks would have to use the timeout, so maybe that wasn't actually an injury. Because Panthers did just kind of use their final timeout. Now, here we go. He takes a knee. That's not going to get it done, technically. I mean, there's not much of a difference between the game clock and the play clock, but it's not game over. I mean, they're still going to have to punt here, and like a miracle can happen. So I'm not sure why they took a knee. They could have ran the ball and try and get the first down. They didn't run the play clock all the way down either. This is not a good punt. It's fair caught at the 33. So there's still a chance here. That's baffling. Did you guys just see what I saw? He took a knee. And I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen Kirk Cousins take a knee when he meant to spike it, which is funny. I mean, obviously by taking a knee, he still ran a lot of time off the clock, but he should have been a little bit more aggressive and at least tried to run the ball for a first down. Bryce Young needs to throw this ball, and that's not where he needed to throw it. I mean, throwaways are... I mean, rookies tend not to throw the ball away enough, but in that situation, like, there's times... This is the time that you might want to force a throw down the field, even if it means an interception, because you need the yards. And they probably need it. They need about 30 yards to get in field goal range. Or if they're trying to try a Hail Mary, they're going to need about 20, and that's not going to do it. 4 seconds left. May as well see the end of it here, but it looks like the Seahawks are going to escape in this Madden simulation. It was a close game throughout, but the Seahawks took control at the end with that pick, and quite frankly, that was a weird animation. Third down, last desperation heave. It is caught, but tackled at the 24. And that's, I mean, it's not going to matter that he got the first down. That was a huge gain, and it looked like he could have broke it. I already put the pick in that Madden was going to pick the Seahawks, so that would have been crazy, to say the least. Oh, yeah, Seahawks win. Now, quickly into our next game, the Cowboys and the Cardinals. You guys already know the Cowboys are going to win this game, and you guys agree with me unanimously, 8-0. So, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Let's not waste a whole lot of time on this game particularly. Just let's load up the two teams because we do technically have to play it. I mean, I'm sure Madden will somehow cheesily say the Cardinals will hang around for a while. So let's go ahead. Super Sim. This should be a blowout. They have the Cardinals kind of hanging in there with Josh Dobbs. Cardinals are holding on to... They're holding out here, 14-14 at halftime, and now they have a lead here in the second half. And guys, the Cowboys are trailing in the fourth quarter against one of the worst teams in the NFL. According to Madden, 24-20, Cardinals on top. And on 4th and 2, the Cowboys come out heavy. They need to advance the ball down the field quickly, even if they get this first down. And they do. And it is a modest chunk. Gets about 9. But now they're wasting a lot of time here. They have to hit pay dirt. They can't kick a field goal. That's not going to do them any good. They must get touchdown. Prescott looks, fires. Deep left. Caught. Was he out of bounds, though, before he caught it? He was. So, basically, that's an incomplete pass. And it's 2nd and 10. Illegal touching, I mean, technically it's a penalty, but really it's just an incomplete pass. It's a waste of time to say it's a penalty. Just call it incomplete. 2nd down, pass caught, 1st down. Tony Pollard out of the backfield and an immediate timeout here, as man is not stupid this time. Cowboys driving it at the Cardinals' 32-yard line. Our next game would be the Bears at the Chiefs, and I think we all know who's going to win that one. Prescott under center. Got Pollard behind him, and a pitch and catch, an easy 6 yards. But the Cardinals will give you that because it's in the middle of the field, and they're going to waste a lot of time getting to the line. They are not using that timeout here. They are not using that timeout. They're wasting an awful lot of time. I feel like Madden makes them waste a lot more time than in real life. And here we go, first down. And there is the timeout as Ferguson converts for the Cowboys. We saw that guy a lot in our Madden Sims, actually. Ferguson, our original Madden Sim tournament that we started with before the season began, on who Madden thinks will win the Super Bowl. 1st and 10. Prescott looks, fires left side, broken up, incomplete. 14 seconds to go. 2nd and 10. Prescott, shotgun, looks, rolls back, and he hit it. He can't afford a sack. He is able to throw it away. It's not grounding as there was a receiver in the area. I think he was trying to actually throw it to that receiver. It just looked like a terrible overthrow. And now we got 3rd and 10. With 8 seconds to go, can the Cardinals pull it off? Here comes the rush. Prescott throws back to the end zone, incomplete. 4th down. 4 seconds left. This has to be the end zone here. This has to be in the end zone. Trips left for the Cowboys. This is it. One-on-one across the field. Here we go. Prescott looks, fires, caught! Touchdown! Ferguson saves the Cowboys as they will win it on the last play against the Cardinals. And I'm not sure how this game was even close. I'm not sure how the Cardinals almost won. But at the end of the day, all that matters is the Cowboys did win. Wow, okay. That was a game where I was just trying to get over with, and apparently I couldn't do that. No, we got 38 minutes until 4 o'clock, which is when I need to be off of here. So our next game is between the Bears and the Chiefs. And again, I'm not going to waste time beating around the bush. The Bears just look worse than I thought this year. I had hopes for Justin Fields, but he's not doing so hot. And the Chiefs kind of bounced back after the Week 1 loss to the Lions, like I said before. So I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs. The league is overwhelmingly favoring the Chiefs as well. So Kansas City Chiefs, put that in for both of us. And now let's see what happens here in the Man vs. Man simulator. This is a 4 o'clock game, so let's make it so. So let's make it so. Let's go to the end. It's 7-0 Chiefs. And Bears are hanging in there. Now, if Justin Fields could show that potential he has, this could happen. But yeah, now the Chiefs are bouncing back, and it's game over. The Bears did get a garbage time touchdown. But the Chiefs do pull off the victory. So now we got the Steelers at the Raiders. This could be a little more interesting. I might have to actually analyze this one a little bit. Steelers defense looked pretty stout last game. Then the Raiders, they looked horrible against the Bills. So teams turning in the opposite directions after week 2. But I mean, Kenny Pickett can't really do much as a quarterback for the Steelers, and that's what has me kind of leaning towards the Raiders here. Because Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not the best, but he's also not the worst. Kenny Pickett might be down there. So, like, this is a battle between two of, like, probably bottom 10 quarterbacks in the NFL for starting quarterbacks, anyways. But the Steelers' defense is good. The Raiders' defense might not be so good. But, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick the Las Vegas Raiders to win this game. Only because I don't really have too much faith in Pickett. And the only reason the Steelers beat my Browns is because, quite frankly, Deshaun Watson didn't know what he was doing. And got strip sacked by TJ Watt. He could be an absolute game breaker, but, like, how often is it that you get 2 defensive touchdowns in a game and then they barely won? So the Steelers, I'm sorry, guys. I have to disagree with y'all on this one. This is the 3rd time we disagreed so far in this week's edition. The Raiders will beat the Steelers, according to myself. You guys picked the Steelers. So let's see what Madden has to say. This will be a 1 o'clock local for them, so we're going to keep it that way. Actually, no, this is supposed to be a night game. Forget it. I think it's a Sunday night game. For some reason, I didn't put it as that. So they're playing a day game at Allegiant Stadium. Not as much different from a night game at an indoor place, but let's go ahead and sim forward. Oh, yeah, Madden has the Steelers pretty overwhelmingly here. I don't see them producing that much offense, but here we go. The Raiders could come back. And that ends their hopes of doing that. So the Steelers take this one, according to Madden. A game that seemed like the Steelers had control of, and the scoreboard doesn't really do it justice. Not at all. I mean, I didn't even know they scored a garbage time touchdown. I thought it was 31-20. 31-28 is the final. So it doesn't really do it justice, but according to Madden. But I think you know what? I think the Raiders will win. So now we got the Bears and the Buccaneers. Monday Night Football. Excuse me, not the Bears, the Eagles at the Buccaneers. I was like, those two teams just played last week. What am I talking about? Because, again, I just saw the HI, and for some reason I was thinking Chicago Bears, not the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, a much different team for the Buccaneers to play now. Eagles' defense is much better than the two defenses they've played so far. Simple enough, the Eagles are just a well-oiled machine still. I mean, of course they struggled in their 2 games, but I think they'll get it together. And I don't think they're losing to a Buccaneers team that, quite frankly, doesn't have that much offense to speak of. So we'll go ahead and sim forward in this one. Hold on, I got to see what y'all picked. Yeah, y'all are unanimous on this one with the Eagles. So, yep, I just entered that in. Now let's sim forward in our second to last game of the stream. Buccaneers have an early lead here. Baker Mayfield leading them down the field, but that seems to not matter as the Eagles have now taken control of this game here late in the first half. And they go up by 3 scores. And they're holding. They held Tampa to 10 points. That was after that opening touchdown. They didn't do anything, according to men. So clean sweep here for the Eagles. And now for our final game between the Philadelphia Eagles Jesus, I'm tired. The Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals have had a little bit of a tough spot here, but like the last 2 years, they've also really haven't gotten off to a fast start. They're known for that. They're known for slow starts, but they always bounce back. Last year, it was week 3 on Thursday Night Football. This year, it might just be week 3 on Monday Night Football. And they're playing a Rams team. I mean, the Rams are an interesting case, though. They are an interesting case this year. They really are. They beat the Seahawks, a good team, and they hung in there with the 49ers, who are world class right now. They lost by one score, and yeah, I know the field goal was kind of garbage time, but like throughout the game, like you just didn't really know if the Rams could potentially pull off an upset. It was close the whole time until Stafford turned it over there late in the fourth quarter, and the 49ers got a field goal, which pretty much cemented their win. But they're an interesting case this year, and if they win this game and go to 3-0, or excuse me, go to 2-1, they lost the 49ers. Of course, they still lost to the 49ers. They didn't win, so they're 1-1. If they win this game, they are putting the whole league on notice. And then the Bengals, they're going the opposite direction. They're a team that everyone expected to be good, and they lost to the Browns and the Ravens. And quite frankly, I think I have to pick the Bengals to win this game because I still think they're the better team, and they are going to be hungry, and they're going to be desperate. And the Rams right now are just, but like the Rams also have the underdog card in this game. So like the Rams have that underdog mentality. That's their advantage, but will it be enough? Probably not. I don't see it being enough. The Bengals defense is still pretty good. They've been doing a good job. I mean, Lamar Jackson just went off last week. I mean, that was pretty hard to stop. That was Lamar Jackson at his best. I watched that game, but this Bengals defense is still pretty good. I think they'll be the ones that keep them in it, and then eventually the Bengals offense will come along for the ride. So the Bengals will pull it off. I hate saying the Bengals will win. I hate saying any of my division rivals will win. I've already picked the Ravens today, and now we have to favor the Bengals. And of course, I did not pick the Steelers. Of course, I didn't, but I just don't think Pickett's a good quarterback. They have a good defense, but I don't think Pickett's good. I think he's definitely worse than Garoppolo. I mean, Garoppolo's not great, but I think he's definitely more experienced in that realm. He's been to a Super Bowl even. Kenny Pickett has been to an ACC championship game where he did a fake slide. So I'm picking the Bengals. You guys are picking the Bengals too, unanimously. In fact, only 7 people voted on that one. So let's go ahead and get to our final game of this stream, and then we will part ways for week 3. Here's Paycor Stadium. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the end here. The Rams have a 7-0 lead. The Bengals strike back. And this is a little bit higher scoring than I thought it would be here in the first half. Oh, the Rams get a late touchdown and take the lead. And they're up 24-13 now. Bengals have to score here. They do, but it's not going to matter as this game is a wrap. So, Madden has the Rams pulling off the upset. Would it be too surprising? Not really. If you would have asked me about this game week 1, absolutely would have been a surprise to see a result like this. But now that I've seen these two teams play 2 games, I think it could happen. I picked the Bengals, of course, because I still think they're the better team overall. I still think the elements of their championship contender roster is definitely there. And the Rams have shown their underdog mentality this year, but I think that is a real test to go on the road and beat the Bengals. Just go on the road and beat the Bengals. It's going to be hard for them. I mean, the Ravens it took everything the Ravens had to beat the Bengals with Lamar Jackson. It really took his full gas tank to get it done. So, how can I see the Rams beating this team? The reality is I don't. So, I mean, well, it's possible, but I don't see it actually happening. All right, guys. Without beating around the bush too much longer, I am out of town until Sunday. With that second interview, that kind of complicates things with my potential schedule to go back to Virginia and visit my parents. So that might not happen if I do get this job and take it right away. So I have that going for me. with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Enjoy week 3 action of NFL, week 4 action for college football. For those of you guys who watch college football, um, go Bucks playing Notre Dame. That'll be tough. Not making predictions for college games. This was a stream for NFL games, so we're not going to go there. I don't have I don't have an NCAA simulator for that. I mean, I know NCAA 14 is still popular nowadays. In fact, it's been revamped, but I don't have my PS3 anymore. So, looking forward to the new game that's coming out next year. Hopefully, it's not as trash as Madden is. But anyways, okay, enough talking, enough me going on tangents. This is your boy J-Bob signing off, saying see you next time from League of Ordinary Gentlemen and Man vs. Madden. Have a good day, everyone, and enjoy week 3.